Stop everything you're doing because Caitlin Clark just dropped a Nike ad that has the entire internet gasping for air. Yes, you heard that right. The rookie phenom, the unstoppable force taking over women's basketball, just partnered with Nike for a campaign that is equal parts jaw-dropping, defiant, and drenched in drama. But while millions are applauding her meteoric rise, the haters, well, they're spiraling. And when we say spiraling, we mean full-on meltdown mode. Former teammates throwing shade, old coaches whispering behind closed doors, even a WNBA legend reportedly called the ad disrespectful to the game. Ouch. The ad itself, pure cinematic gold. Caitlin is seen walking through a dark tunnel, emerging into a roaring stadium as the words "born to break you" flash across the screen. She's rocking a sleek, all-black Nike kit, basketball in hand, and then boom. She sinks a no-look half-court shot as the screen goes dark. Just one line appears after, "Caitlin Clark made you look?" The internet exploded. Within minutes, #Clark effect was trending on X. TikTokers were recreating the shot, and die-hard fans started fighting in the comments section. Literally fighting, but not everyone is celebrating. A former college rival posted a now viral TikTok saying, "You can't spell cocky without C." Another WNBA vet tweeted, "Guess Nike likes flash over fundamentals." The firestorm ignited fast, but Caitlin, oh, she's not backing down. Insiders say she refused to tone down the concept, even when advisors warned it would stir controversy. Apparently, her exact words were, "If they're gonna hate me, they might as well see why." And wait till you hear who confronted her about it face-to-face at a private Nike party in LA last weekend. Yep, there was a scene. Voices were raised, drinks were thrown. And what happened next left even Nike execs speechless. So what's really going on behind the scenes of Caitlin Clark's explosive Nike campaign? Is this about confidence or calculated revenge? And why are even her own teammates starting to distance themselves from her spotlight? Grab your popcorn and sit down, because the story we're about to tell will change the way you see Caitlin Clark forever. It all began at a hush-hush Nike creative meeting in Portland, an elite gathering attended only by high-tier athletes, brand visionaries, and marketing legends. Caitlin Clark walked in, head held high, despite the murmurs already circling around her. Everyone knew she was Nike's golden girl, but no one expected her to demand creative control over the entire ad. "I don't just want to be in it," she said, locking eyes with a stunned executive. "I want to own it." The room went silent. It was a bold move for a 22-year-old just entering the WNBA, but Caitlin wasn't backing down. Her confidence electrified the area and threatened to tear the entire campaign apart before it even began. Some insiders loved her fire, others called it ego. And one senior creative, who had worked with Serena and LeBron, reportedly stormed out, calling the concept too aggressive, too provocative, too Caitlin. From the very first pitch, it was clear this ad wasn't just about shoes, it was about a power shift. About a woman rewriting the rules. Days later, the campaign was greenlit. Caitlin got her way. Production moved to a secret location in Nevada. An abandoned basketball arena turned into a cinematic set. The mood was gritty, the lighting harsh, and Caitlin relentless. She worked through 14-hour shoot days, refusing stunt doubles, rehearsing every dribble and shot until it was perfect. But as word of the ad's intensity leaked, the reaction from her peers wasn't what she expected. A WNBA teammate reportedly texted her, "You sure this is about the game?" While another unfollowed her on Instagram entirely. The vibe in the locker room began to shift. Eyes lingered longer. Conversations ended when she entered the room. She'd always been confident, yes, but now she was becoming something else polarizing. Meanwhile, online, anticipation was growing. Nike ran a cryptic teaser, just a close-up of Caitlin's eyes with the words "she's coming." That alone garnered 2 million views in 24 hours. But the whispers behind the scenes were growing louder. She's turning this into a solo show, one unnamed coach allegedly told a reporter. And when a college rival none other than Ayanna Rivers posted a fiery Instagram story saying, "Some people buy attention, others earn it," fans went wild with speculation. Was it about Caitlyn? The timing was too perfect to ignore. And then, the ad dropped. It was everything the rumors promised: moody, intense, cinematic, Caitlyn walking through shadows. Her voice narrating bold lines like, "You doubted, I delivered." The moment she made that half-court shot and the words "made you look" faded onto the screen, millions sat up. But within an hour, the backlash exploded. Ayanna posted again, this time tagging Caitlyn directly, "Glad you finally made it." Shame about the humility. Fans were divided. Some hailed Caitlyn as the future, others called her arrogant, accused her of disrespecting the women who paved the way before her. Even a respected ESPN analyst tweeted, "There's a fine line between confidence and alienation. Caitlyn's walking it with a smirk." Back at home, Caitlyn's family was blindsided by the fallout. Her mother, who rarely commented on her daughter's public life, was said to be devastated by the tone of the ad. A source close to the family claimed her mom cried. She didn't recognize her daughter in that video. And her father silent, which was even worse. Caitlyn, meanwhile, remained stoic. In a now iconic post-game interview days after the ad aired, a reporter asked her directly, "Do you think the ad went too far?" Caitlyn paused, smiled faintly, and said, "They never complain when men do it." But things took a darker turn when, at a Nike after-party in Los Angeles, Caitlyn came face-to-face with Lisa Westmore, a former WNBA MVP turned brand ambassador, who had reportedly been cut from the campaign after expressing concerns about the ad's tone. According to party insiders, Lisa approached Caitlyn with a forced smile, holding a drink in one hand, and said, "Congrats." Bold move. Not sure it's the kind of bold Nike needed, though. Caitlyn, unflinching, responded, "If it made you uncomfortable, maybe you weren't the audience." The room fell silent, tension rippled through the VIP lounge. And then Lisa tossed her drink at the floor near Caitlyn's shoes and walked off. Drama, full stop. Nike execs scrambled behind the scenes. Some feared the campaign had become too divisive, but others, they were thrilled. "This is exactly what we wanted," said one anonymous VP. "Controversy sells." And Caitlyn just became a household name. But Caitlyn wasn't just making waves in marketing. Her relationships were unraveling too. Her longtime best friend and former college roommate, Jenna, posted a cryptic quote the same night, "Fame reveals who you are. But sometimes it reveals who you never were." Fans instantly connected the dots. Had Caitlyn cut off her inner circle for fame? What really happened between her and Jenna? One insider claims it all started months ago, when Caitlyn allegedly refused to attend Jenna's engagement party, citing brand obligations. But another guest spilled the tea. She was in LA that weekend, filming with Nike. She chose the cameras over her friends. The betrayal hit hard. Jenna and Caitlyn hadn't spoken since. And now, with the ad triggering even more fallout, the bridge seemed irreparably burned. Then came the interview that turned the fire into an inferno. A former assistant coach at Caitlyn's alma mater went on a popular podcast and said she was always the star. She knew it. We all knew it. But there's a difference between being the best and needing everyone else to feel less because of it. That quote went viral. And suddenly, it wasn't just critics turning on Caitlyn, it was former allies, teammates, mentors, even childhood friends were being dragged into the discourse. Through it all, Caitlyn maintained radio silence, no apologies, no statements, just that same unwavering stare. But according to one source close to her camp, behind closed doors, she's furious. She thinks the backlash is rooted in jealousy. She feels misunderstood. And she's planning her response. And that's when the rumors of a second ad, a darker, more personal follow-up. One that would address the critics head-on. Nike hadn't confirmed it, but a leaked production schedule hinted at something major. And if true, it could ignite a whole new level of drama. But before anything could be confirmed, something shocking happened. One of Caitlyn's own teammates went live on TikTok, tears in her eyes, and said, "I've supported her from day one." But watching that ad, it felt like she left us behind. Like she doesn't see us anymore. The comments flooded in. Heart emojis, snake emojis, the internet split in half, and that's exactly where our story takes its next jaw-dropping turn. The TikTok live didn't just trigger a social media storm, it cracked open everything Caitlin Clark had built within the WNBA locker room. The teammate's voice trembled as she recalled moments during the ad shoot when she and others were invited but never filmed. "We were props. Background noise," she said, wiping away tears. "This was supposed to be our moment, too." Within hours, her video amassed over 3 million views. Comments exploded. "She's always been about herself," one fan wrote, while another countered, "Now she on that spotlight. Y'all just fit her." The league hadn't seen this level of public inter-team drama since the Candace Parker-Lisa Leslie feud, and now Caitlyn was at the center of it all. That same night, Caitlyn's agent tried to calm the fire, releasing a statement that read more like a legal defense than a heartfelt response. Caitlin Clark's vision was to inspire every girl with a dream. The Nike campaign was a celebration of excellence, not exclusion, but that only poured gasoline on the flames. A popular sports journalist tweeted, translation, "Sorry you felt excluded, but the queen moves alone." Hashtags like #ClarkDivide and #NikeDrama trended. The narrative had officially shifted from celebration to confrontation. Back in Indiana, where Caitlyn's team was preparing for a critical game, the atmosphere was tense. Teammates were visibly distant. One refused to speak to media. Another wore a warm-up shirt inside out, a quiet act of rebellion, fans speculated. The head coach was forced to address the tension in a post-game conference. "We're focused on basketball," she said stiffly, eyes darting away from reporters. But insiders claimed that behind closed doors, players were venting. One was overheard saying, "She's not a teammate, she's a brand now." But Caitlyn didn't flinch on the court. She dropped 28 points and 9 assists, silencing critics with her game. Yet the bigger storm was only beginning, because what no one expected was for Caitlyn's own brother to get involved. Brian Clark, the quiet older sibling who had always supported her career, took to Instagram late one night and posted a black and white photo of their childhood backyard court. His caption, "Back when it was just the love of the game." No tags, no explanations, but everyone knew what it meant. The comment section erupted. "That shade is lethal," one user wrote. Another replied, "If your family is calling you out, you know it's bad." Suddenly, Caitlyn's personal life was under a microscope. Tabloids dug up everything, old texts, deleted tweets. Rumors flew about arguments with her parents, especially after her mother was seen leaving there. They went home visibly distraught, avoiding cameras. Neighbors whispered that there had been a screaming match days earlier. Even family friends came forward anonymously saying, "There's tension." Her parents didn't expect her to change this much, this fast. Meanwhile, Nike wasn't backing down. In fact, they leaned in harder. Billboards lit up Times Square and LA with Caitlyn's image, smirking above the words bigger than the noise. TV spots aired during NBA Finals coverage, but critics were relentless. A former Olympic gold medalist tweeted, "Great player." But great leaders lift others, not leave them behind. The debate exploded on ESPN, with two hosts nearly shouting at each other over whether Caitlyn was the villain or the victim in this saga. And then just when it seemed like things couldn't get more chaotic, Ayana Rivers did the unthinkable. She dropped her own sneaker deal announcement. Partnering with Puma, she released a new campaign that clearly took shots at Caitlyn's Nike ad. In it, Ayana walks down a quiet court with other players behind her. As they lace up their sneakers, she says, "Together, always." The final line, "Real queens don't walk alone." Social media imploded, fans took sides, hashtag Team Caitlyn versus hashtag Team AYANNA dominated every platform. TikTok creators reenacted both ads, comparing tones. Twitter threads dissected every line, every gesture, and in the WNBA community, you could feel the split to rising stars, to visions, one leak caught in the middle. But what really tipped everything over the edge was the leaked audio. Late one night, a voice memo began circulating online. It was Caitlyn's voice, undeniably hers, recorded during a private call with her brand team. In it, she allegedly said, "I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to be the face, and if that bothers them, too bad." The memo, less than 30 seconds, shattered the internet. Fans called it the dagger. Critics said it confirmed every suspicion. Caitlyn's rep claimed it was taken out of context, but the damage was done. In the hours that followed, multiple teammates unfollowed her. A junior player reportedly asked for a trade. League officials began discussing media handling training. And Nike? They went silent. No tweets, no statements, just eerie, calculated silence. Caitlyn remained publicly quiet, but behind the scenes, her team was reportedly scrambling. Plans for the second ad were temporarily shelved. Her PR team canceled interviews. And according to one source, Nike was re-evaluating the message of the campaign entirely. But Caitlyn wasn't giving up. She was furious, determined. One insider shared that she's now working on her own documentary. She wants to tell her version, they said. She believes this is a smear campaign, and she wants to fire back. As the WNBA season heats up, so does the off-court drama. With fans, teammates, and even her own family divided, Caitlyn Clark finds herself at a dangerous crossroads, beloved by millions, resented by just as many. And her next move could decide everything. And just when we thought the chaos peaked, someone unexpected re-enters the scene. A name we haven't heard in years. A woman with a very personal score to settle with Caitlyn Clark. That unexpected return came in the form of Chrissy Malone, a former college teammate of Caitlyn's, whose sudden disappearance from the basketball scene 2 years ago was cloaked in mystery and whispers of internal drama. Back then, Chrissy was the rising star, a fan favorite with a silky jumper and leadership charm. But after a single heated on-court altercation with Caitlyn during their sophomore season, she vanished. No press conference, no transfer announcement. Just gone until now. Chrissy resurfaced with a YouTube video titled "The Truth About What Happened with Caitlyn Clark." Within an hour, it hit 500,000 views. By midnight, it passed 2 million. Sitting in front of a plain white wall, Chrissy spoke with the calmness of someone who had waited years for her moment. "I stayed quiet out of respect," she said, her voice steady. "But when I saw that Nike ad, when I saw her walk through that tunnel like she was alone in building this, like the rest of us didn't bleed for those banners, I knew it was time." What followed was a stunning 25-minute expose filled with chilling details. Chrissy described a toxic locker room environment fueled by favoritism, emotional manipulation, and what she called silent sabotage. She accused Caitlyn of isolating teammates, dictating plays behind the coach's back, and even orchestrating private meetings with school sponsors to boost her personal brand at the team's expense. She didn't just want to win, Chrissy said. She wanted to win alone. If you outshined her for even a second, she'd make sure that second was your last. The video was raw, emotional, devastating. Comments flooded in. "I believe every word," one viewer wrote. Others demanded accountability, some even tagging Nike, ESPN, and the WNBA in calls to investigate Caitlyn's abuse of power. But just as the internet began crowning Chrissy, the new hero of this saga, another twist arrived. Jenna Yes, the same best friend Caitlyn had allegedly ditched during the Nike shoot, posted a TikTok duet with Chrissy's video. And her only caption, "Truth has a way of catching up." The betrayal was now confirmed. Caitlyn's former best friend, her former teammate, her inner circle, they were all turning. Inside the WNBA, whispers of the Caitlyn crisis were growing louder. Executives held emergency meetings. Rumors swirled that Nike was considering delaying the rollout of Caitlyn's signature shoe line. Meanwhile, sports blogs published timeline of a meltdown pieces chronicling Caitlyn's descent from hero to villain in real time. But the chaos didn't stop there. At a press conference after a hard-fought loss, a reporter asked Caitlyn about Chrissy's allegations. Her response chilling, "I've never stopped anyone from succeeding," she said, narrowing her eyes. "I just refused to slow down so they could keep up." The room went silent, gasps, phones whipped out. The clip instantly became a viral moment, a meme, a rally cry for both sides. Some fans praised her no-nonsense response, others saw it as proof of her arrogance. But then another shockwave hit, a document leaked. It was an internal memo from Nike's legal department discussing potential exposure if more former teammates came forward with allegations. The memo, dated just 2 weeks prior, referenced a pattern of leadership concerns and even included a risk assessment on Caitlyn's future marketability. How did it get out? No one knows. But once it did, the media frenzy exploded. Nike tried to do damage control, releasing a vague statement reaffirming their commitment to empowering athletes. But the damage was done. The world now knew that even Nike was second-guessing their golden girl, and still Caitlyn played on. She dropped 32 points in a headline-grabbing performance that left commentators breathless. Her on-court dominance was undeniable, but fans noticed she didn't celebrate, didn't high-five her teammates, didn't smile. Just walked off the court, alone, into the tunnel. The same tunnel she walked in the Nike ad, only this time, there were no flashing lights. Just silence. Then came a stunning new revelation. Chrissy appeared on the jump with Rachel Nichols and dropped a bombshell. She wasn't the only one pushed out. "There were 3 of us," she said. Caitlyn made sure all 3 were sidelined. Rachel pressed her. Who were the others? Chrissy hesitated, then gave the names. One of them was Sierra DuPont, a defensive powerhouse who had gone mysteriously undrafted despite top-tier stats. The other, Monica Haaland, overseas MVP who had once called Caitlyn her basketball soulmate in an old Instagram post that's now been deleted. The internet cracked in half. Monica broke her silence just hours later, releasing a tearful Instagram live where she confirmed Chrissy's story. "She froze me out," Monica said. "She told coaches I couldn't play at her level. I believed her. I quit." That admission hit hard. The comments were brutal. "You broke her," one user wrote under Caitlyn's latest post. "You ended her future." Suddenly, it wasn't just drama. It felt like a reckoning. Caitlyn's image had officially shattered. And just when everyone expected her to hide, to retreat, to issue an apology, she did the opposite. She announced a live stream scheduled for the following Sunday. The stream was promoted with a cryptic teaser. Just Caitlyn's face in grayscale and the words "enough." No sponsors, no Nike logos, just her. Fans speculated wildly. Would she apologize? Deny everything? Name names? The countdown began, and the world braced itself. But what Caitlyn revealed that Sunday, no one saw coming. The live stream began with a single camera shot, no makeup, no basketballs, no Nike gear. Just Caitlyn Clark, sitting in front of a bare wall, eyes steady, her voice low but firm. Over 8 million people tuned in live, and within the first 30 seconds, comment sections across Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube were already exploding. "Here it comes, she better own up, let's hear the queen speak." She leaned forward and began, "You all think you know me." A pause, her hands trembled slightly, "But I'm done letting everyone else write my story." For the next 20 minutes, Caitlyn went scorched earth. No scripts, no PR filters, just raw fire. She addressed Chrissy first. "You disappeared. Not because I iced you out, but because you stopped showing up when we needed you. I covered for you. I took the blame when you missed curfew, skipped practice, flaked on team meetings, and I never said a word. Until now, the chat section exploded. People begged for screenshots, receipts, anything to prove what she said. But Caitlyn wasn't done. To Monica, yeah, we were close. You were like a sister, but when you started talking to rival sponsors behind my back while pretending to be on my team, I drew the line. I didn't ruin your career. You made choices, I made mine. She then pulled out a printed page of redacted email chain between a WNBA scout and a European agent. She told them I was overrated and too dramatic. Months before I signed with Nike, Caitlyn said, her voice breaking. I never told anyone this because I didn't want to believe it. But I've kept every receipt. The tone shifted. This wasn't just a defense, it was war. Caitlyn was naming names, unearthing secrets. She confirmed the Nike legal memo was real, but not because they feared her, but because someone inside the company tried to tank my campaign from within. She claimed a high-ranking Nike exec, who favored another player, leaked the memo intentionally to damage her brand. They wanted Ayanna as the face. They were just waiting for me to mess up. Then came the moment that silenced the entire internet. Caitlyn said, and my brother, yeah, that post hurt. But you know what really hurt? Finding out he sold a story about me to a tabloid for $50,000. She dropped a screenshot of a Venmo transaction and a partial email with TMZ's logo visible in the corner. So while everyone's painting me as the villain, just remember some of the people closest to me were building a trap the whole time. Tears welled in her eyes. For the first time in weeks, Caitlyn looked small, human cracked open in front of millions, but she didn't ask for sympathy. She didn't beg for redemption. She stared into the camera and whispered, I'm not sorry for shining. I'm sorry I thought people would want to shine with me. The string cut off, no outro, no plugs. Just darkness, and then chaos. Twitter lost its mind. Is this a redemption arc or a full-blown villain origin story? One user posted TikTok stitched her stream into cinematic montages. Instagram lit up with celebrities chiming in. LeBron James posted, keep your foot on the gas, kid, greatness ain't quiet, but not everyone was convinced. Ayanna Rivers responded with a single post, just a snake emoji and a mirror selfie caption. We all wear masks. And then, the final twist. Nike released an emergency statement the next day. The company fired the executive mentioned. In Caitlyn's livestream, publicly, in a rare move, they confirmed the internal leak and admitted it was an act of sabotage rooted in personal bias. The exec's name, Marcus Linwood, the same man who had championed Ayanna Rivers as the future of the league. Suddenly, everything made sense, but it didn't end there. Caitlyn's signature shoe line was greenlit again, this time with full creative control. A brand new ad aired during Game 3 of the WNBA Finals. Black and white, no music, just Caitlyn walking through a stadium of empty chairs. She stopped at center court, looked directly into the camera, and said, they tried to bury me, but I'm not so limestone. It ended with one line, the crown was never shared. Fans lost it. The ad became the most watched women's sports commercial in history within 48 hours. Jersey sales spiked, Nike's stock ticked upward. And just like that, Caitlyn Clark went from polarizing star to pop culture phenomenon. But the drama wasn't over. Chrissy announced she was writing a memoir. Monica was spotted meeting with a rival brand. Ayanna teased a truth doc on her YouTube, and Caitlyn. She's reportedly been offered a role in a new Netflix drama series about an ambitious athlete betrayed by the people she trusted most. One thing's for sure, this saga is far from finished. Because in the world of fame, betrayal, and billion-dollar branding, it's not about who wins the game, it's about who controls the story. So now the world stands divided with one name at the center of it all, Caitlyn Clark. Is she the fearless trailblazer who refused to be silenced, or the ruthless icon who scorched everything in her path for the crown. Her Nike ad may have started as a simple campaign, but what it unleashed was far more than just brand buzz. It sparked accusations, betrayal, leaked documents, teary confessions, a corporate firing, and a nationwide conversation about fame, power, and the price of ambition. Chrissy's memoir is on the way. Iana's Truth documentary is already gaining traction. Monica is making moves of her own, and Caitlyn. She's no longer just a basketball player. She's a force of nature, a walking controversy, and the headline everyone can't stop reading. Will she double down on her fire? Will her teammates rally behind her again, or will the divide grow deeper? Will her story become a cautionary tale or a crown jewel in sports history? One thing's certain, this drama is far from over. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Was Caitlin Clark just misunderstood from the beginning, or did she take the spotlight too far? Is she the future of women's basketball or its most polarizing figure yet? Drop your opinions in the comments below. We want to hear everything. Don't forget to like this video if you love the tea, subscribe so you never miss an update, and hit that bell icon because trust us, this story is still writing itself. Until next time, stay messy, stay loud, and stay watching because in the world of fame and fallout, the next twist is always just one headline away.